Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Cloudy, much cooler than recent days. High 72. Partly cloudy. Low 60 overnight and 75 tomorrow. 64 right now. Next news at 9. Breaking news as it happens. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
From the Matrix Home Solutions studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We heard from a regular caller to the show, Verlon, earlier in the week, talking about the weekend violence, and he recounted how his cousin, who I think was
Malik,
20 years old, young man, was shot and killed, and all the promise that he had that was taken away.
Played football, was loved by the community, and about 800 people, police officers too, showed up at his funeral.
Well, there are other parents of children who've been taken by violence in urban centers, and some of those moms who've suffered that loss are getting together to demand better when it comes to public safety and representation of the interests of their families in urban centers around the country. One of those is Sylvia Bennett-Stone. She is the director of Voices for Black Mothers United, which is a project of the Woodson Center in Washington, D.C., our friend Bob Woodson. Sylvia Bennett-Stone joins us now. Sylvia, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Good morning, and you wrote a piece recently in Newsweek. Parents of murdered children deserve answers from BLM leaders. Let's get into that. First, your story and the loss of your daughter, and what prompted you to lead this group of black moms.
Yes, Dan. I'm located in Birmingham, Alabama. It's my base. Work out of D.C. with Mr. Woodson in the Woodson Center. And my daughter and her girlfriend just pulled into the gas station. Two guys were shooting at each other. And the girls got caught in the crossfire. The bullet went through my daughter's body and stopped in the heart of her girlfriend, and both girls died. Then I thought I would die as well. I just couldn't even imagine losing a child, especially to gun violence, because that's not our lifestyle. That's not who we are. So, to my surprise, that's just something you have to learn to wrap your head around, right? Then I started my healing process. I have other children, grandchildren, and I knew I had to get up, right? But you don't know how, and really you don't have the energy to get up, but you got to do something. And I found that helping others, because it was so prevalent back at the back in our neighborhoods where kids, innocent kids, are losing their lives. Babies are being caught in the crossfire. So that prompted me to get up and start talking to other mothers. And in the process of that, I learned that statistically, 26% of parents die within the first 10 years of losing a child traumatically. And the other mom did. She died the 5th year. She died. That gave me more energy and a purpose to get up to try to help save some other lives. Not just save their lives, help them heal. And I'm a strong believer if that person heals, if that mother heals, that family will heal. That family heals, that community will heal. So we have Voices of Black Mothers United. We have over 2,500 mothers throughout various states and growing, where we train them on a national level to go back into their community to initiate our initiatives. Our 3 initiatives are one, and that's helping that person heal. That's helping that family get up and start making a difference, right? Community intervention. And that's looking at our community, looking at ourselves. Why are we doing this to ourselves? We have to look at the solutions here. We have to find some more solutions because each community will vary, right? And then the third one is promoting positive policing. We do not support defunding of police. We need police in our community.
So
However, we need police accountability. That's it. Let the police do their job.
So, Sylvia, for the past 17 years, I know you've been happy. 17 years, that's a long time, helping Black mothers deal with the grief of losing, children to senseless violence. It really is God's work. But right now, where's your outrage, and why are you upset at Black Lives Matter movement?
They took advantage of the most vulnerable person other than a newborn baby. They took advantage of them. The hurt, the pain. When you're going through this process, you don't think about the norm, who to trust. You just think about the fact that somebody reached out to you to help you, but you don't look at the fact that they're not really helping until you get to a certain point in your healing. And then one day you wake up and you say, oh my God, they took advantage of me. I've had it happen to me during my very most vulnerable time, right after Crystal's death. But they took advantage of these mothers. It doesn't make any sense that you receive $90 million, but yet you have a mother who's homeless. That makes me want to puke. Because I know how easily it can happen.
So you're talking about they took advantage of the mothers of 12-year-old Tamir Rice and 16-year-old Micaiah Bryant. Can you explain?
Yes, that's correct. Micaiah's mom became homeless. And it's easy, it can happen. Because during this time, you don't think about paying bills. You're unable to work. And if you don't have a network and a support system, homelessness can happen very easily.
Something else that...
Yet,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yet, she's buying $1.3 million homes.
Yeah.
But you did not pick up the phone to say, are you okay?
Something else that bothers
painful.
Yeah, something else that bothers me about Black Lives Matter, I want to get your perspective on it, is they conflate people like Michael Brown with people like your daughter. Your daughter was pulling into the gas station to fill up her car. She wasn't doing anything wrong. Michael Brown, not the same story. And I think conflating the two is part of the demagoguing of police, and I think that's something else that's very unhelpful to Black families, and all families, but particularly Black families in urban centers.
Right. I understand what you're saying. And the problem is with that, if you say that's your agenda, then make your agenda clear. I do say police need some accountability. And I do say some police don't need to be on the force. I have worked with police all my life. I know them very well. I know there's some good ones, and then there's some not so good ones. Those not so good ones just don't need to be on the force. So there need to be some kind of accountability or better vetting process to understand and to see, well, this person has this kind of track record going on, then maybe we need to look at this a little closer as the police department, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Now, I always use this example. I just hate Walmart. I love the products, but I hate going into Walmart. It seems like all the clerks are just angry and don't want to be there, right? So I always use this analogy.
They did? What happened to the greeters?
The greeter's fine, but once you get past the greeter,
the clerks are a problem.
It's a little dicey.
I have shoppers,
I mean,
Sylvia, so
okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It is awful. Don't do it. Consider this your warning. Don't do it.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate the heads
I
up.
always use that as an example. If you know that this person just does not need to be in customer service and working with the public, get them out. I could never understand how they allow this type of behavior working with the public.
Yeah.
And the same thing holds for police, judges, any profession.
Radio talk show hosts.
Some just
right.
don't
Yeah,
need
get
to
'em
be
out.
there.
Yeah, right. Hey,
Right.
let me. It's interesting. This group that you're the director of Voices of Black Mothers United. It's to me, it's reminiscent of the angel moms, the moms and the families who've lost somebody to violence in America perpetrated by a person in this country illegally, and it's basically about people in public office and in law enforcement representing the interests of people they're sworn to serve, whether it's crime that is a result of people in this country illegally or perpetrated by people in this country illegally, or whether it's crime perpetrated by people in this country legally, but you have allowed lawlessness to reign wherever the lawlessness comes from. That seems to be sort of a common theme here is law enforcement, but particularly political figures, political office holders, who represent the interests of people other than those they're sworn to represent.
Wow. Yeah. Now, what I believe is that, and we believe, I would say, the healing and the change need to come from within. Okay? Community people need to take control of their community. They need to look at themselves. For an example, I tell the mothers, you know your child has an illegal gun in your house. Why do you allow it? You should be just as accountable as your child, because no 14-year-old should have a gun in your home. And most parents know what's in their homes. You choose to ignore it. You know that your child did not get money from you to buy $100 sneakers.
Yep.
You choose to ignore it. So it has to start from within. We have to look at ourselves. We have to make a clear choice. This is not okay. It may have been my child today. It may have been Crystal today. But tomorrow it could very well be yours.
She is
So you can do something about it to make a change.
She is Sylvia Bennett-Stone. She is Crystal Joy's mom, and she's also director of Voices for Black Mothers United, which is a project of the Woodson Center, our friend Bob Woodson, in Washington, D.C., although she is based in Birmingham, Alabama. That's where she calls home. Sylvia Bennett-Stone, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. And continued success with Voices of Black Mothers United. It's great work.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, and God bless. And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
More than ever, the world needs leaders of character, strength, and compassion. At St. John's Northwestern Academies, they believe college preparatory